Starting with forest management in Jharkhand. Now, the first attempt of forest management in the state was done by J.F. Hebbitt between 1882 to 1885. In 1909, a forest committee was constituted by the government of Bengal for protection of the forest. Before independence, there used to be private forests as much as 95%, but later they were governmentalized. After this, there has been a continuous decrease in the forest coverage in the area. Now, in the year 1985 to 86, there was forest on about 42% of the area of this land, which has been limited to only 29.76% area at present. Proper efforts are needed in the state as per the targets of the government on India for 33% of forest cover. An important component of this can be the management of forest. The major steps taken in the direction of forest management in the state are as follows. Now, it is necessary to ensure participation of general public in the forest management and forest conservation. For this, Joint Forest Management Resolution has been formulated by the government in 2001. Under this, more than 10,000 forest management committees have been formed in the state. The committees are working in 21,860 square kilometers of forest area. For the conservation and development of Forest Development Agency has been constituted in all regional forest divisions of the state. A forestry faculty has been established in Forestry College affiliated to Birsa Agricultural University located in Jharkhand so that proper training can be provided to the management of forests. A target has been set for forestation. Afforestation is about 3,424 square kilometers of the state. Forest plantation works have been started on more than 9 lakh hectares of barren land in the state. Social forestry is being promoted so that the dependence of villages on forest can be reduced. Along with this, afforestation is also being encouraged through urban forestry. Afforestation on private land is being encouraged under the Mukhyamantri Janvan Yojana. Now, more than 100 permanent nurseries are being upgraded technologically. Through self-help groups and village forest management committees, free training suitable machines are being made available for lakh production so that the income of villages can be enhanced. Awareness campaigns are being run to create attachment towards nature and sensitivity towards wild animal. Ecotourism is being promoted in the state through environmental friendly and sustainable methods. For this, Ecotourism Policy 2015 has been formulated. A provision of 6,900 lakh has been made in the budget of the financial year 2015-16. Notified forests, so 69 crore rupees. For the specific afforestation plans on non-forest lands and for land conservation and for fast growing plants for Tasar and Cisco afforestation, etc. Now, on an average, 5 to 8 feet tall saplings are being prepared for Boss Gabian plantation under permanent nursery and seed orchid scheme. The Forest Department Tribunal has been constituted in 18 regionals and wildlife divisions of the state under the National Forestry Scheme sponsored by the central government. Forest records and forest boundaries are being digitized. Jhar Park has been formed by management of parks located in the urban areas. Nadi Mahotsav, that is River Fest and Mass Tree Plantation. Nadi Mahotsav, that is River Fest and Mass Tree Plantations were organized from July 2nd, 2019 to August 2019. Under this campaign, a total of 15,66,660 saplings were planted along with the banks of 24 rivers, covering a distance of about 140 kilometers in all 24 districts of the state. During the campaign, maximum saplings were planted in Jamshedpur and Ranchi Forest Division, 1,35,000 each, followed by Dhanbad Forest Division, 1,09,140. Now, FRA Forest Right Act of 2006 and the rules of 2008. Under this act, the forest dwellers have been given rights to reside on forest land, and it has been defined in the following two ways. Forest dwelling scheduled tribes. This includes members of communities of scheduled tribes who primarily reside in forest and are dependent on forest or forest land for their needs of livelihood. The pastoral communities of scheduled tribes are also included in this. Other traditional forest dwellers. This includes such members who have been primarily residing in the forest or forest land for at least 3 generations prior to the cutoff date of 13th of December 2005 and have been dependent on forest for their livelihood needs. Now, right on forest land for residential purpose for cultivation will be only available as defined in the Forest Act when forest dwellers have already occupied the forest land before 13th of December 2005 and should have in occupation of the forest land till December 13, 2007. Now, forest village has also been defined in the Act. Pieces of land in the forest has already been given to the villages living in 1 gram for cultivation and housing by the Forest Department, and they are entitled to get rights under this Act. In the new law, Gram Sabha has been given the power to define the rights of the forest residents. To exercise this power, Gram Sabha has to constitute Gram Sabha as per rules of 2008. In this Act, the Gram Sabha has been authorized to save the forest. For this, the Gram Sabha will separately constitute a committee consisting its own members. Now, in order to implement the Scheduled Tribes and other traditional forest dwellers recognition of Forest Rights Act of 2006, the Gram Sabha has proceeded in two ways. The process of determination of individual and community rights on forest land is to be initiated. For this, a Forest Rights Committee is to be constituted. A separate committee, that is Forest Protection Committee, has to be constituted to get the authority, that is power, to save the forest. The villagers must be aware of their rights of housing and agriculture on forest land that has been provided to them through this law at the individual and community level. 85% of the state's forest in its 13,000 revenue villages are in the form of protected forest. All the villages have the collective right to collect wood, forests, flowers, fruit, seed, leaves, lac, etc. from these forests, and the forest law is valid. Any villages who has living primarily in the forest but has not been dependent on forest or forest land for their needs of the livelihood shall not be called a forest dwellers, and they shall have no right of agriculture or housing on forest land. As per this Act, Gram Sabha has also been given the right to save the forest. In this resolution number 6023 dated November 15th of 2007 of Forest and Environment Department of the Government of Jharkhand, through the committee formed at Gram Sabha level, has taken a decision to give rights and respect the villages which all the villages must be aware of, that without the permission of the Forest Protection Committee, no forest lawsuit will be filed against any villages in minor incidents. Reconciliation of forest crimes shall be only on the recommendation of Forest Protection Committee. Now, Campa, Jharkhand Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority, Campa, has been constituted for the conservation of natural forest, management of wildlife, infrastructure development and other such activities. Campa was constituted by the Government of India in July 2004 and Jharkhand Campa was notified in October 2009. Following are the main objectives and goals of Jharkhand Campa: conservation, protection, regulation, management of the existing natural forest, conservation, protection, management of wildlife and their habitats inside and outside the protected areas, compensatory afforestation, providing environmental service, research, science, training, capacity building, environmental protection and sustainable forest management. Campa activities are linked to Google and 1,605 tree plantation projects are being supervised through it in the state. That'll be all for this video. Thank you.